You know, I had to say this, you know, no homo. But when I think of you, right, you know what I always think of, and I hope you remember this, because if you don't, it's going to bother me so bad.
What's that?
I remember one time, and it was probably about, to show you how long we've known each other, it was probably my 21st birthday. You probably was about 15, and I used to do the mic battles.
Yeah.
And you came through and you did an impromptu birthday freestyle. You don't even remember that, do you?
Ooh, vaguely.
You was probably about 12 pounds lighter.
You stupid.
But that made me feel so warm and fuzzy inside that you just did like no one had ever done that for me, man.
That's crazy, man.
Like I said, no homo, but no.
Right. I'm glad I could share that love and share my talent, you know, for something like that, and the fact that you remember it after all these years. Because like you said, man, we brothers don't know, like, you know, Big Vic XL, like in Chaos, we go back some years.
Oh man, I used to try to hit you with like you've outgrown your Michael Evans stage.
True indeed.
You remember me in the Michael Evans jokes all the time?
Yeah, when I had the fro popping too.
Yeah, now you don't look so much like Michael. You didn't have no waves. Like, you got the waves coming in.
They spin it, baby. They spin it.
You know, you got the waves coming in, you know. Not saying that was anything wrong with you, but you've grown from kid to senior.
True indeed.
So, and waves come with being a senior. I had waves when I was a senior in high school.
Word, okay.
So, I was senior blind. They used to call me blind in high school. Purple blind to be exact.
That's stupid. Yo, for those that don't know, we gotta run down the history, man. Just the Big Vic XL Senor Chaos history. Like, I met this brother when I was, I wanna say maybe like 17.
You was young.
Yeah, 17, maybe going on 18, and you're doing the R Nation battles.
Yeah, a lot do, because you have been doing it so long. Are there people who don't know that you used to battle?
Yeah.
There are cats who don't know.
Yeah, there's tons of people that don't, that don't know that history.
And you would eat a ninja up.
Right. Yeah, I got, on the battle tip, I got busy. And especially as a young cat, I battled a lot of cats that were a lot older than me.
Right.
So, it was always intimidating being a young kid on the block. It's like how you step to somebody when you're 17, 18, you battling somebody that's 25 and I had the confidence to really go at cats. But yeah, that's what I did. That's how I met you and was involved in the R Nation joints and the Off the Cliff days and the Somber Reptile days and you know what I mean. That's a part of my history. I'll never forget that because that's where I came from.
One of the most something that because a lot of times, like with me, like forget the money, forget we've all accomplished things in our lives, but a lot of times when you look back, because a lot of major accomplishments come along with a major headache.
True indeed.
And in all honesty, like I've obtained a lot of things in the game that I'm proud of, but the headache that came along with it, like now I'm becoming a fan again. And I probably spent 5 years where I was more business than fan.
Right.
And I really financially I love those years.
Right.
But mentally I hate them.
Same here. I spent a strong 4 or 5 years where I was more businessman than artist, and it's the same thing. Made a lot of money, but I wasn't happy. Wasn't totally happy and hated the same thing. So yeah, I'm totally there with you. If anybody understands that scenario, it's definitely me.
So, with that being said, like just going back, reflecting, seeing you. You're one of the people seeing cats like Fort Knox, seeing Four Eyes, seeing Ekendayo. Like seeing a lot of the cats who were doing it when I was a fan and being able to say, okay, these cats are making even better music now and I'm a fan again.
Dope.
Like being able to be at AC3, nobody bringing me a CD or me not trying to say when my artists go on or this.
Right.
Like tonight, I'm like, man, I'm just cooling. Like no one knows me. I have outgrown, like some of the cats are so young, they have no idea who I am. They probably like, who is old ass dude in the club? But I love being a fan. I love the fact that there are guys out here who are keeping Atlanta hip hop alive.
Yes, sir. And it ain't easy. I say that first and foremost. Like it's not easy.
That was going to be my question. Being that, let's just say you've been doing it for over 10 years. What has kept you going Like, you know, because there's a lot of cats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cats out here who are striving for that deal. They want that deal, and if that deal doesn't come by a certain time,
Right.
they out.
Yo, I'm gonna say this, like, you know, I've been an independent artist for the whole, you know, the past decade, the whole time I've been an artist. You know, being in Atlanta, especially with the type of hip hop music I make, you know, it's not necessarily what we call commercial hip hop music. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's not what I do. I feel like a lot of people do that, so I always want to, you know, do something different, express my uniqueness as an artist. But it's very hard in this type of market where, you know, people look at you in the type of music you make, and they're like, that ain't popular, that ain't popping, that's whack. You know, why you even rapping like that? You should be rapping over beats like this. So it's very easy for somebody like me to become frustrated with the music industry, become frustrated with Atlanta hip hop, and just be like, man, forget it, they don't get it, I don't even want to do this anymore. And, you know, I've had those days, I've had those years where it's like, alright,
So,
you know, I'm through. So what keeps me really going is, it's really like, man, it's always somebody I meet. Like, just when I'm like, yo, I'm frustrated, this, that, the third, I always meet somebody who's like, yo, this song that you did, or this verse that you did, like, changed my life, and I was going through this in college, or I was in a relationship with Whoopty Whoop, and this song, like, I woke up to it every day. And it's like people like that you meet, and even though it's one or two people, it's like, wow, like, I actually touched somebody with this music. So that's one thing that keeps me going. And then I think the second thing, man, is just like the homie Jackson. Like, once he passed away, I kind of got a lot more serious about, you know, making music and putting it out to the people, because it's something that he was very passionate about. And then, you know, like our last conversations with him telling me like, yo, like, don't stop doing this, you nice, you know, people need to hear you.
so how did the passing of Jax, because the passing of Jax, like, affected the Atlanta hip hop community damn near like when Pac died?
Yeah, it did. I mean, it affected me personally. Just, you know, I knew Jax closely for probably like 8 years. You know, since around the time that I had met you all, when I was like 17 years old. So he was a very influential person to my music. Like, you know, the way I do shows, I won't lie. Like, I patterned a lot of my shows off of what Vegas was doing, because when I was a teenager, you know, them cats were the king at rocking shows, and you know, so I took a lot of things from them, and just setting up the business as an artist and doing shows and branding yourself and all that. You know, so I soaked up a lot of jewels from the homie Jackson. When he passed, it was kind of like, it was sad personally, because it was somebody I knew who was a good dude for all these years. But then it was sad for the scene too, just because of that energy. You know what I mean? Like, the energy that Jax had, the energy that Pincus had. Like, Jax kept people going because he always kept going. And just when you thought like, oh, I shouldn't be doing, Jax would drop an album like it wasn't nothing, and didn't really care if, you know, what everybody thought or whatever. He was just like, yo, you know, this is what I love to do, and I'm gonna do it whether I make $12 or whether I make no dollars.
Right. And
that's rare. Like, that's super, super, super rare that you meet people like that, and always have a positive outlook and a positive attitude. So yeah, it's, you know, after he passed, man, like, I knew things were gonna be different. The day he passed, like, I knew Atlanta was gonna be different. I knew the scene was gonna be different, and it's been tough, you know, just without him, without having that energy here. But it's just kind of like a lot of things I try to do now, I try to dedicate to him. Like, okay, we're gonna do this in his memory. Like, how would he want to see it done if he was still here? And so that's one of the things that keeps it going. So on this new album that I'm getting ready to drop, the Chaos Effect LP, like, you'll hear his name mentioned several times throughout the album.
Right.
Because if it wasn't for him, I never would have finished this album in the first place. So yeah, it's definitely important for people out there who don't know, just to kind of know a little of the history of who he was. You know what I mean? As an MC, as a man who did his thing. You know what I mean?
All right, I gotta ask a question, because do you still do the marketing and promotion?
Yeah, I do.
All right, so how is it being the type of music you make, but you having your own marketing and promotion company? You've had to promote music that people view Atlanta hip hop as, like, you know, not to call out anybody or not to say that their music is bad, but you've had to promote music that's completely opposite of your character.
Yeah, I stopped promoting music probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Any particular reason?
Just, it was whack. you know, just because of like what you said, like it doesn't represent me as a person, and you know, it wasn't inspiring. Like I didn't wake up excited to do it every day. You know what I mean? So I still work, you know, in the marketing promotions field, but not on music. Like, you know, I work with brands and do different things, but music, nah. But when I was doing it, I mean, it was what it was. It was a check. And it was, you know, you have to realize what's for you and what's not for you. Like the records that I was promoting wasn't necessarily music I would make, but I knew it was an outlet for it. I knew there was people out there that wanted to hear it, so it was about getting that music out to those people. You know what I mean? It wasn't. So I never felt conflicted by doing it. You know, I did it for several years, and it just kind of reached a point where the industry fell off anyway, and checks wasn't flowing, and it was like, okay, well, I'm not even making as much money I was, and the music is whack. Like, well, why am I still doing it? You know what I mean? So at that point, I pieced out of it and moved on.
Right. Real quick. You're listening to WRFG 89.3 FM, your station for progressive information. All right. Had to get that out of the way. Now,
sure.
how many years have you been in the game? From the vintage. You know what's funny? Because, you know, hip-hop trivia, you know, what y'all were doing, you, Weatherwax, Mega, and it was funny because we used to joke in hip-hop trivia and be like, a hip-hop trivia question should be, name the members of Vintage Imperial.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been in the game? Because a lot of people might not even know what Vintage Imperial is or was, or, you know.
Yeah. It's like this. I started making music in high school, like junior, senior year in high school, and that's when Vintage Imperial started, which was, for those that don't know, it was a group. It's an Atlanta hip hop group with me and my partner, who was SL1.
Who is now, if you don't know, if you're on the rock, DJ Kingspin now.
For sure. So I mean, you know, that was over 10 years ago.
Do you feel like a veteran?
Nah, not at all.
Because you look young.
Yeah.
You look like you've been in jail.
You stupid.
No, seriously, because you know when a cat be in jail for a long time, they be have you got a relative that been in jail for at least 10 years? Yeah, you.
Not 10.
But you got a relative that done at least 5.
Yeah.
Don't he look the same age did he when he went in?
But swole.
Yeah, jail preserves you.
But I'm not swole.
But you look preserved. You look preserved.
Good. And that's the music to do that. But
you and 4 Eyes, y'all both look preserved. Y'all look like y'all came right out of like a preserved jar of jelly.
The music keep you young, brother. But yeah, in a sense, like, you know, I do, like I even say in this record, I said I'm a 10-year vet, still young at best. So in one sense, like, you know, I do feel like I'm a OG, but it's still things I haven't accomplished. You know what I mean? I'm still at the bottom of where I want to be as far as what I've done. So I do feel like a vet in the sense of, like, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen a lot of people come and go. I've seen what works, what doesn't work. I'm able to give great advice. I'm able to make strategic moves and not just be out here playing myself left and right. But then on the other end, it's like, nah, I ain't really a vet, because I still got some years in me, and I still got some things to do, see, and accomplish and conquer.
Do you give advice?
If asked, yeah.
So you're not the type of older guy, spokesman in the game who won't give a young cat advice?
Nah, you know why? Because, like, you know, just going back, like, Jax gave me advice. You know what I mean? Bankers gave me advice. Mass Influence gave me advice. J-Force gave me advice. Roster Root gave me advice. So it's like I wouldn't be where I was if cats didn't give me advice. So
I gave you advice.
You gave me advice.
Cut that afro.
That ain't what you said. Shut up. So I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't even be right of me to not give back. But I don't just offer, like, go around like, yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need. But yeah, if heads step to me, and I respect you and I respect your music, and you really want to know what I think or some things you could do, yeah, all day.
Okay. How many? Let's talk about your discography. Like, how many projects, vinyl, 12 inches, overseas? Like, do you know how many bodies of work you've put out there?
Yo, man, the only one that counts, like, no lie, the only one that counts is the one I'm about to put out.
Why is that the only one that counts?
I feel like this is, you know, you do a lot of projects, but I really feel like this is the first album, man. I really do.
How many mixtapes have you done?
I did 3 that have been bigger, which was Swag Is Nothing, Talent Is Everything. Then I did Walk Softly, Carry a Big Brick. Then I did The Most Interesting MC in the World, which I put out in January. But I did probably 5 before that nobody really knew about.
I have those. I have at least 3 of those.
Right. There was like 5 of those.
Did you release something overseas?
I did. I did the Child's Play album.
Yes.
Came out in Japan. I licensed it in Japan. There was 2 Vintage Imperial albums. There was several 12 inches. It was.
Do you have one of everything?
Yes.
You do have one of everything.
I have one of everything. At least one. If not more than one.
Because I know a lot of cats who don't have at least one of their body work. I'm like, what are you gonna give your kids?
Yeah, I have one of everything I've ever put out. Like sometimes I have 2. I keep one in the shrink wrap and then one that I play and use. But yeah, and it's in a deadbolt safe.
Never to be opened.
Never to be opened. Until I want to go into it when Ridin Durty come over to do that Cribs edition.
Oh yeah, we coming. Do you desire, like when you started and you decided, you know what, I'm going to express myself the way I express myself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to follow any trend. I'm going to do, at that time, Kid Chaos, now Senor Kaos.
Right.
Do you desire that major commercial success?
I did years ago. That was kind of one of the things. Because in order to reach the masses of people that you want to reach, like having a major record label, having that commercial success helps. But now that I've gotten older, and the way that the music industry has changed over the past 6 or 7 years, like, do I aspire for that? Nah, not at all. Like, now everything is about the fans. Like, I could care less about a label. I could care less about the commercial success thing. It's all about the fans, making the music for the fans and connecting with them and getting those people to support it and get behind it and tell other people. So this kind of thing now, it's like where if there's a situation on the table, would I turn it down? It depends on if it was the right situation or not. But am I one of them cats that's like out here chasing that commercial success? Nah, not at all.
You don't make records for commercial success?
Not at all. And if you listen to my music, like, that's evident. Because it's not trendy. You know what I mean? Music that's made for commercial success is trendy. It's about what's hot right now. So what's the hottest liquor? Or what's the hottest, okay, we're going to rap about that. Like, nah, not at all. Like, I make music that you can listen to 6, 7, 8 years from now and still be like, okay, this joint is dope. It's not trendy.
I got to say, being a fan first, like, I've watched your progression. And a lot of times, when you drop projects and I get them, you'll receive just a random text from me. When I can honestly say, like, I'm proud to, like, you've grown. Like, and I'm not going to say you've grown into yourself, but, like, your music to me has grown so much. Because I used to feel like when I listened to you, I used to be like, you know what, this is just a dope dude. But it was up until, and I always respected you for being dope, but when you made Girls Rock, that's when I'm like, okay, he's coming into himself as an artist. Like, because being dope and being an artist to me has always been 2 different things.
Okay.
But once you drop Girls Rock, to me, I'm like, this guy is on his way to whatever he's trying to become. And then, like, after listening to The Most Interesting MC, I'm like, he's there. Like, he is sitting where he needs to be, and now it's in God's hands.
Crazy.
Because, like, that's, I think I texted you as I was listening to The Most Interesting MC.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm really, so I commend you.
Thank you, sir. And that's good that because that's the whole purpose. And like every project is supposed to be a little better than the last one, and it's supposed to be that growth. As I get older, I visit new places, I meet new people, I learn new things, I read more books, I watch more movies, I have more fun. So it's like every project I do is new things are supposed to get expressed, and that's the purpose. Like, I would hate to be dropping albums now and you like, yeah, you still rapping about the same stuff you were rapping about when you were 17. It's like, nah.
Jeezy do it? Don't he?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
I don't own no Jeezy albums, man.
Seriously?
Now I own Trap or Die though.
Everybody on. If you're from
yeah,
you gotta have Trap.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was. What? So you're still having fun? Do you think?
I am. I'm back to having fun. Yeah, I'm definitely back to having fun. Especially, now I started working on the Ultra Beast project with 4 Eyes, and that's fun.
It has to be. You coming out in a gorilla suit?
Right. Yeah. Like, for those that don't know, I rocked the A3C tonight. I came out on stage in a gorilla suit.
Looking like your body temperature was 150.
Right, it was probably 300. It was dumb hot.
I was looking for a bucket of water just to throw up there at you.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I'm just getting back to having fun, and I still have, it's just like life. You got that roller coaster. It's stressful days, like trying to put this album out right now. It's dumb stressful, but when I'm on stage, like as you see tonight, you see me and I come out and something crazy, like we having fun.
Right.
And that's what it's all about.
What has been your highest high in your 10-year career?
Ooh, probably getting that check from Japan. Nah, my highest.
Hey, no, you ain't gotta change it. If that was your highest high, that was your highest high.
That was probably the second. The first was when I put out first 12-inch. I financed it myself. I worked a crazy job to make the money, financed it, put it out, found somebody to distribute it. And when I got that first check, and then when my record ended up in Fat Beats in New York, which was just like, the holy grail for hip hop in New York City, and they cut me a check, and I had a check from Fat Beats, like, that was really my first.
Did you photocopy it?
I did. I saved it, and I still got it to this day.
You didn't cash it? Or you just...
No, I cashed it.
But you photocopied
it? I copied.
Okay.
I kept a copy.
Right.
But I cashed a check. But needed that. That was, the first check I had made off of music ever. You know what I mean? So that was kind of like okay, this.
I can do this.
Yeah, like this is something that can be done.
Did you quit the job?
Back then I got fired actually. So, yeah.
Who fired you?
I don't want to get them. I'm not shouting them out. They get no shouts from me.
They fired you really?
Yeah, I got fired.
On your off day?
Not on my off day. I wasn't still in no boxes.
Okay. What's your lowest low?
Getting evicted.
Because of music?
Not necessarily because of music, but yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, getting evicted.
I wish you had called me when you got evicted. I would have. Did they throw your stuff out?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then you. Because if I'm sure you got some stuff I would have wanted if they threw it out.
I got some stuff a lot of people would have wanted, man.
I would have. If you ever get evicted, holler at me, because I know your sneaker collection is crazy.
Crazy, yeah. And it wasn't on some, I ain't paid my rent type stuff. It was just a crazy situation, and I ended up out, and it was wild. So.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah, between that and then probably losing the homie Jax, like getting the call like Jax has passed away. Like that was the lowest low. I stayed in my house for like 4 days, in the bed, like didn't get out of bed, barely ate. Like that was a very low point as well.
I gotta ask this about Jax, and again, man, the way y'all keep Jax alive, like just on Ridin Durty TV, I just posted the Hard to Quit the Rhyme video, and then I posted I'm gonna say his name wrong, so I'm just gonna call him Mojo.
Okay, Methuselah.
Yeah,
now.
Mojo.
Right.
Mama named him Mojo, I'm gonna call him Mojo.
Call him Mojo.
Matter of fact, in the song, he says, my name's Mojo, so hey,
right.
Don't confuse me. I'm from Griffin, I can't say no Methuselah. I know Methuselah. See, I'm saying that wrong. I know the old ass guy.
Yeah, that's just the same name.
He just added something to the end?
No, I think it's the same name.
No, that dude's name is not Methuselah.
I believe it was.
I think it's Methuselah.
I don't know. Somebody have to call and let me know.